Und damit herzlich willkommen, liebe Gamer-Freunde, Ladies, zu einer weiteren Runde im Rätseluniversum. The Journey Down. Kapitel 2. Wir machen da weiter. Wir sind das letzte Mal hier noch reingekommen mit der feinen Lady am Empfang, Rezeptionsbereich, und wir haben ihr ein schönes Bild geschenkt, damit sie sich ein bisschen verlieren kann darin und träumen kann. Jetzt schauen wir mal, wie es weitergeht. So, ihr seid gut in den Abend reingekommen. Der Montag ist geschafft. Bereiten wir uns auf den Dienstag vor. Viel Spaß! Da, da, da. Mann, die Klänge sind echt gut. So. Okay. So, jetzt schauen wir noch mal kurz, ob wir hier hochkommen.
What's upstairs?
Mayor's office. He's never here though. The mayor is working from inside Club Tempel.
Das ist nie hier.
By working, I mean greasing his palms
Ja.
and spending the city's tax money on his lovers.
Okay, was haben wir noch? War der Alarm?
Hey, Andy Swa.
Hey, Bwana.
Later, Andy.
See you around.
Hey, Andy. Mind if I use the computer?
Go ahead. What do I care if I get fired? I just want to get out of here. Knock yourself out.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy.
So, elektronisches Stadtarchiv. Suchbegriff eingeben. Oh, Ja. Frage ist ja, was sollen wir denn eingeben? Wie viel können wir denn eingeben? Aha. Hm. Okay. So, das mit der Karte, das müssen wir mal ausprobieren. Machen wir mal Leuchtturm.
Hey, I know that place. It's Morton's lighthouse.
Yeah, it is a good thing someone finally fixed it. When the lighthouse was sabotaged, the whole city just kind of stopped. It was beginning to make everyone here kind of creeped out.
Ah, es wird doch keine Schnellreise. Okay.
That's the train station.
Yes, it connects Port R2 to St. Armando. There used to be rails going downwards too, but they are all out of service now.
The harbor. That's where we first arrived with the Biko.
Ja, genau.
Looks like some kind of harbor maintenance thing.
Oh, that is the McFerrin Eel Rinse Distillery. It used to be a source of a lot of pride here in Port Arthur before it was shut down. Now all eel rinse is distilled up in St. Armando. Mayor lost the contract to them, as usual.
Ah, that's too bad for him.
For him? No way. He probably got a nice fat bonus. It is too bad for Port Arthur. We lose jobs and money for every new stupid deal he signs.
Ja. Haben wir noch den Club.
It's Club Timber, smack dab on Main Street.
Yup. All of Port Arthur sort of revolves around that joint. That is where all the money is. So, that is where everyone wants to be.
Ja.
It's the jail. I'm just gonna stay as far away from that place as possible, I think.
That sounds like a very good plan, Bwana.
Ja, wäre eine gute Sache, wenn wir uns da fernhalten.
It's some kind of factory area, I think.
That's right. That is where you will find most of Port Arthur's industries. The old mines, power plants, the iron works, those kinds of things.
What's this weird thing?
Oh, that is Enola's House of Butterflies. It is pretty much the only point of light in this depressing town.
What's a house of butterflies?
She does butterfly therapy there. It is amazing stuff. Can bring you right out of that gloomy Port Arthur mood in just a couple of minutes. Come to think of it, it's pretty similar to that horrible booze the misters are always drinking. Except you miss out on the hangover, of course. And it's no good for passing out either. I guess that's why the misters prefer the bottle.
It's a cross.
That is the Port Arthur Hospital. It has got pretty decent service, actually, if you can afford it. Rich folks go there, but most other folks just suck it up.
Ach so.
It's a cemetery, I think.
Yes, that cemetery is where we will all end up someday, I guess. Gosh, how depressing is that? Get born here in the dark, live here in the dark, and then die and forever rest here in the dark. It just reminds me of how much I want to get out of here.
So, da sind wir mal die ganze Karte abgegangen. Ich frage mich ja, was wir für ein Passwort brauchen.
It's locked in place.
Sorry, fire equipment can only be removed in case of emergency.
That's no fun.
Das irgendwie auslösen.
It's a smoke detector. Nice cigars.
That is a box of Senor Muerte. They are specially imported from Pango Kubwa. The mayor says they are the best cigars ever made. He is very particular about his cigars.
Hey, Andy Swa.
Hey, Bwana.
Later, Andy.
See you around.
Also zwei Dinge können ja sein, dass wir hier nochmal in den Rechner reingehen und Informationen bekommen. Irgendwo das Passwort herbekommen. Irgendwie durch den Alarm auslösen, sodass wir den Feuerlöscher bekommen. Oh Mann, die Musik ist so gut. Regen sieht ja super aus. Jetzt eigentlich Gut, dann gehen wir mal hier lang. Aha, hier ist ja jetzt was los. So, das noch. Damen, Damen. Oh, stimmt. Da waren wir noch gar nicht drin. Vollhaus. Was?
I ain't going near that meat stick again. You'll throw me right back in the dumpster.
Okay. Ladies.
Excuse me, ladies. Ever heard of someone named Kaunandodo?
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. We are just here waiting for our ride.
Okay. Ja, dann gehen wir doch mal ins Kino, was? Okay. So, was haben wir hier? Ah. Und hier so tolle Filmposter. Dr. Strange.
It's a poster for the
Gemüsediebe.
vegetable thieves. First she stole his heart. And then she stole his carrots. Man,
Ah, ist ja die
about
Karotten
lava.
geklaut. Das geht nicht.
Baron's Gore. A twisting tale of airplanes, goblins, and riches galore. That movie sounds awesome.
Okay.
Looks like there's gonna be a big show tonight. Looks like there's gonna be a big show
Ah.
tonight.
Okay. So kommen wir noch nicht rein. Ist niemand hier.
There's a sign on the ticket booth. It says, tickets for tonight's show will be available shortly.
Aha, okay. Das heißt, wir müssen noch mal hierher kommen.
It's a taxi cab, but there's no taxi driver around.
Ist es ein goldenes Taxi? Okay, da steht noch jemand. Okay. Das Schiff ist jetzt weiter hinten. Gummiboot, Kran. Ja. Gut, gehen wir mal zu den anderen.
Who you think you're fooling, Mo? We're never gonna be able to push this produce. Only reason the Sisulus didn't grab it is because it's dried up and halfway rotten.
Shut up, Vince. Someone's coming. Hey, kid. Want to buy some corn? It's prime stuff. Straight from the farm.
yeah, prime corn. Fresh from the farm. Fresh from the, cows or whatever.
Sorry, guys. I got no money.
We could trade. We're big on trading.
Yeah, let's trade. I'd like a big fat bottle of eel rinse.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And how about some cigars? It's about time men of our ability get to enjoy the good life. We're men of class, you know. Men of class should be enjoying a classy life. Ain't that right, Vince?
That's right, Mo. There you have it, kid. Get us some cigars and a bottle of eel rinse, and this beautiful crate of prime corn is all yours.
Da haben wir doch schon eine Idee. Die Zigarren für ihn. Ein Aal aus der Bar. Wegen dem Mais. Habt ihr Jungs schon mal von einem Typen namens Kaunandodo gehört? Oder Nebel heute, nicht wahr, Jungs?
Great fog today, huh, guys?
It's bleeding fantastic, kid.
Is it always this foggy here?
Sort of comes and goes. Most of the time it's like this. Been a real thick week, though. Thicker than usual for these parts.
Yeah, feels like something bad's brewing out there in the big soup, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's getting cooler now, though. Might clear up tonight. Might even catch a glimpse of the stars. Better watch out, eh, Mo?
Hey, no spookies, okay?
Ja.
You guys heard of a man named Kaunan Dodo?
Nakadodo? Wait, isn't that guy who had a thing with that girl on the flats? You know, what was his name? Guy was always limping, had a funny way of walking.
Oh, yeah, you mean that guy who was running the bricks for the old stooge over on 6th, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, now I know. You're talking about Tommy Three Legs.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, his name ain't Kno Doko or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Oha, okay. Jemand anderes.
You're afraid of the stars?
Catch a glimpse of the stars, and you know something big is going down tonight.
Something big.
Someone's gonna bite the bullet, kid.
Someone's gonna die?
Yeah, and I don't mean no out-across turf war. I mean here, on the cold streets of Port Archu.
Hey, I told you no spookies.
What's the outer cross?
You best just stay away from there, kid.
What is it?
It's a pirates and thieves nest far out in the soup. You reckon this place is lawless? Take a ship to the outer cross and you get swindled, mugged, killed, and dropped in the mist before you can even set foot on solid ground.
Yeah, that place is run by the Susulus and a bunch of other lawless hoodlums. Take our advice and stay away from there, kid.
Ja.
I gotta go. Ah, nice and warm. Mind if I take a look into your crates?
Get us some booze first, kid.
And cigars.
Right.
Na, ob wir das so bekommen.
I wonder what this little vent does. Hey, oops.
Ah! Gummiboot, okay.
That's one huge crane.
So, gehen wir nochmal in den Leuchtturm. Vielleicht gibt es da was Neues. Morten, wir sind zurück.
Hey, Morten.
Hi, hello there, Bwana.
Ever heard of someone named Kaunan Dodo?
Kaunan Dodo? Haven't heard that name in a long, long time. A pilot, isn't he?
Yeah, that's him.
Last I saw him, he was working for Barlow. Those two were up to some really shady business, I'll tell you.
Kaunan Dodo worked for Barlow? That can't be right.
Quite so. And I'll tell you what else. The two of them led an expedition down to the Underland.
The Underland?
Oh, yes. Few people remember this nowadays. But back then, there were no laws stopping adventurers from trying their luck down there. The expedition was one of the few ventures ever to make it back.
What happened to Kaunan Dodo?
All I know is that the captain left Port Archu in a hurry. I saw his plane fly off into the mist one morning, and I never saw it again. Some people said he flew back down to the Underland. Others said he left to start a new life in St. Armando.
Tell me about the expedition.
I can't tell you that much, son. The whole thing was done in secret, you see. But I've worked the lighthouse for over 40 years now, and no vessel comes or leaves port unnoticed by me. I remember seeing them take off in a twin-engine propeller plane. One of those pontoon planes that can land on water, you know.
That must be Kaunan Dodo's plane.
Well, it was a real beauty, wherever it was from. But when it returned from the Underland a few weeks later, one could tell had been through some real rough travails. Poor thing barely made it back.
Did they bring anything back from the Underland?
Rumors said it was loaded with a ton of gold and diamonds when it came back. I wouldn't make much of those rumors, though. Sadly, we'll never know for sure what secrets they uncovered in the Underland.
Why not?
Soon after the expedition returned to Port Artu, Barlow became the chief of police. And on the same day, the official report about the expedition was made classified.
What report?
The police suspected the expedition was involved in some kind of dirty business. But the final police report was never revealed to the public. And I'm afraid the secrets were buried together with that police report.
Buried or not, I'm going to find out the truth about that expedition.
Well, good luck, son. Won't be easy getting your hands on that police report.
Any idea where I could find that police report?
Afraid not, son. You'd have to get real chum-friendly with the powers that be to get hold of that kind of information. Government reports aren't exactly public information around these parts.
Mhm.
Okay, see you later.
All right, you take care now.
It's a deflated rubber boat. There's no way I'm blowing that up on my own.
Tja, wo?
Man, that's not gonna work.
Oha, jetzt ist jemand da hier.
Hey, can you believe this?
What?
I do this job for chum change day after day, and Hustler Mac sell me a bus tire, good for nothing but a trip around the block. When he laid his racket, it sure sound clean, but now I know who's the fool. He played me cut rate, and that ain't cool. I'ma owe Hustler Mac a slap in the face for that chum deal. Name's Rod Reynolds. That's R for real.
Dein Taxi ist also kaputt. Weißt du etwas über die Expedition ins Unterland? Das frage ich mal zuerst.
Do you know anything about expeditions to the Underland?
Ha! The Underland? I thought all suckers knew that's just a bunch of fairy dust. I keep it real, you know, real on the streets. Can you dig it?
Yeah.
Oh, so your taxi's broken?
Yeah, I know you want to roll with Rod Reynolds. That's R for rhythm. I got the smoothest jam in town. Like silk on wheels, I bring my customers to their destination every time. But now, however, there is a slight predicament. My front tire's gone bust, and that sucker Hustler Max got his jive shop closed this hour. I don't quite know what to do. Put me in a bit of a pickle. If I had me a new tire, I'd take you wherever you want to go. But right now, it looks like I'm stuck for the night.
I thought R was for real.
R is for real. R is for rhythm. And R is for ride. Remember that. Rod Reynolds, that's my name. Driving a cab,
Real
that's my
Ride
game.
Rhythm. Okay, Reynolds.
What's hot on the streets, Reynolds?
Streets are cooking tonight, Jack. Something big going on in the city. I can feel it in a fine-tuned, extra-calibrated tingle of my fingers. This is a fine night to score a ride with Rod Reynolds, indeed.
That's a classy suit. I hear purple is the new thing.
This ain't no common purple, Jack. This here is royal purple and no less. When you riding with Reynolds, you riding with royalty. Can you dig it?
Ja.
Can I practice my pickaxe swing on your car, please?
Yeah, you do that, Jack, and I practice my kung fu on you.
I'll see you around.
Stay on top, Jack. In Port Archu, you gotta be street smart and steel hard. Remember that.
Alright, Reynolds. So, was ist mit den Damen hier?
Do you know anything about expeditions to the Underland?
I think maybe you're mistaking us for somebody else.
No, I'm just asking around.
Well, you're not getting anywhere with us. We are out of your league.
Ooh. Frage, wie wir die hier bekommen.
Can I have a couple cigars?
I'm really not allowed to give away the mayor's cigars. But I guess he won't notice if there is a few missing. Go ahead.
Jawohl.
Thanks, Andy.
Andy ist die Beste.
It's a couple of Senor Muerte cigars. I got them from Andizwa.
So, jetzt müssen wir, glaube ich, nochmal in die Bar.
Bwana's Rude Boy Plumbing at your service.
Okay.
Man, that's not gonna
Ja.
Gross, man.
Hat das gereicht?
I think the drain is empty of yuck. I need to find something else to fill the rest of the bottle with.
Ah, okay. Barkeeper, hast du noch was?
I don't think he wants that.
Man kann ich das nicht mehr mitnehmen? Ist das... Hat das jetzt seinen Dienst getan?
You know anything about an expedition to the Underland?
Look, can't you see I'm busy drinking? Why don't you just crawl back into the dumpster where you belong?
I don't think he's interested.
Aha, jetzt doch wieder mit.
I don't want to pour the bottle out. I want to fill it up. The bottle is half full of waste from the bar. I got to find more liquor so I can fill it up to the brim.
Gut, Zigarren gingen zügig, aber hier haben wir nur den ersten Teil. Dann da.
Yo,
What can I help you with, sir?
you ever heard about an expedition to the Underland?
Have I? Back in the day when diving down into the mist was legal, we had people excitedly going on about it all the time. Once people got to drinking, there was always some fools suggested they go for it. Drop the hard life here in Port Archu and search for treasure in the Underland. There ain't nothing but fool's gold, that. And those poor fellas that took off, well, we ain't never heard of or seen them again. It's a dead end, sir. It's a good thing the government finally decided to ban the whole mess altogether. People were disappearing by the bucket load. It was damaging my business, it was.
No one ever made it back?
Well, I remember hearing about a couple of fellows who returned and claimed they had been there. But ain't it convenient? They failed to bring back a single shred of evidence to prove it. You'd have to be pretty crazy to believe them then, eh?
Any idea where I can get more information about the expedition?
Sir, you're gonna have to ask around, because it was a long time ago. You'd have to ask someone who stuck around for a long time.
Tell me more about the Sisulus.
The Sisulus are just about the only criminals around here beyond Barlow's control. Everyone else is in bed together in some way or another, but not the Sisulu. They're truly outside the law. We don't see them much around Port Arthur, though. They usually hold up far out in the mist, a place called the Outer Cross. Supposed to be some kind of haven for pirates and thieves. Better stay away from that place if you want to stay alive, eh? Because those fellas are known to be pretty ruthless.
I want eel rinse.
Sure thing. It's $5 a bottle.
Man, I don't have any cash. Can you put it on my tab or something?
Well, I'm sorry, sir. No cash, no drinks.
I got to hit the streets.
Give 'em hell, sir.
So, dann gehen wir wieder raus.
Arnie's. What a classy joint. I don't think that's gonna help me get it open. You ever heard about an...
Do I look like some sort of blasted encyclopedia to you? Bugger off.
Wen kann man denn da fragen zum Auffüllen?
If only I could get my hands on one of those tires. The car's for them. What they need that many for? I could probably pry one of the wheels loose. But I need to lift a car somehow.
Hier nix? Aha.
I can't inflate the rubber boat with that.
Vielleicht.
Today's headline is St. Armando City Center crime level at record low. Governor Morobo declares cleansing process a success. It's locked in place.
Sorry.
That's no fun.
Hin kann ich ja nicht hingehen.
That rambly.
Gut, da wollen wir nicht hin.
I ain't going near that meat stick again. You'll throw me.
So. Da.
That's one huge crane.
Na gut, dann gebe ich erstmal das ab, was ich kann.
What you got there?
Wow, they're real Senor Muerte cigars.
Fancy brand.
Good job, kid.
How's it going, fellas?
Doing great now with the fire. Thanks, kid.
I gotta go. Mind if I take a look into your crates?
Get us some booze first, kid.
Oh, ja, warte mal. Das können wir mal probieren, dass wir mal den Tee verwenden. Schauen wir mal, ob es klappt.
There! Now the bottle is filled to the brim. That's one nasty cocktail.
Ah. So, dann haben wir das auch. Schön. Bin mal gespannt, wie er reagiert.
How's it going, fella?
Doing great.
I gotta go. Hey, man, look what I got ya.
Well, I'll be damned, kid.
That's some fine stuff, too. Ooh.
So.
Hey, these aren't fresh. They're all dried up and rotten.
Sorry, kid. Deal's a deal.
That's right, kid. Gotta honor the deal.
Aha, die können wir gar nicht anschauen. Warte mal, was ist das?
It's some dried up old corn.
Kann ich das jetzt verwenden?
I doubt that's going to help release the... I don't think he's interested.
In den Mais hintun.
Maybe I should just leave these fellas alone.
Ja.
That's a lot of booze. Hey, want some corn?
No, sir. I don't want no corn. Thanks, though.
Was kann man jetzt damit machen?
This is where that gorilla threw me in the dumpster. Man, that's... I don't think that's gonna fly, man.
Wo soll der Mais überhaupt hin?
says down with Morrobo. Reclaim your housing, reclaim your lives. It's a call for public action against some hotshot politician up in St. Armando. I doubt anyone down here in Port Arthur is going to do anything about it.
Ich hätte ja jetzt noch gedacht, irgendwie Alarm auslösen und dann den Feuerlöcher verwenden.
What's upstairs?
Mayor's office. He's never here though. The mayor is work, and by working, I mean greasing his palms and spending the city's tax money on his lovers.
Hm. Außerdem brauchen wir noch unser Passwort.
I can't set off the alarm with that. I could smash it to pieces, but I'm not sure what that would achieve. I have a feeling on this one might not like that either.
Hm.
Hey, on this one.
Hey, Bwana.
Ja, da ist nichts Neues.
Later, Andy.
See you around.
I can't inflate the rubber boat with that. It's some dried up old corn. It's a matchbook from Club Timber. It's got a phone.
Ja.
Man, that's not gonna work.
Ah, schade.
If only I could get my hands on one of those tires. The car's for them. What they need that many for? I could probably pry one of the wheels loose. But I need to lift a car somehow.
Oder ich kann ihn noch mal fragen. Vielleicht hat er ja was.
What's up, Reynolds?
Still stuck and off the beat, I'm afraid. My wheels ain't rolling nowhere with this here bus tire.
Do you know anything about expeditions to the Underland?
Ha! The Underland? I thought all suckers knew that's just a bunch of fairy dust. Wheel on the streets. Can you dig it?
I'll see you around.
Stay on top, Jack. In Port Arthur, you gotta be street smart and steel hard. Remember that.
Hm.
There's a sign on tickets for tonight's show.
Gut, das wird bestimmt mit einem Ereignis verbunden sein. Aber für was brauchen wir denn jetzt den...
no tea left in. Hey, Morton.
Why, hello there, Bwana.
Any idea where I could find that police report?
Afraid not, son. You'd have to get real chum-friendly with the powers that be to get hold of that kind of information. Government reports aren't exactly public information around these parts.
Any idea?
Afraid you'd have to government.
Okay, see you later.
All right, you take.
Gute Frage, wo das hingeht jetzt. Ja, ich schau mal ein bisschen rum, ob ich das finde. So, was ich jetzt auf die Schnelle entdeckt habe, war das Passwort.
Hey, and this one.
Hey, Bwana.
You know anything
Mal
about
genau drauf achten
To the
hier.
Unterland. I am pretty sure going anywhere below Port R2.
This was a long time ago. Before it.
Oh, I don't know it. Besides, who?
Da kommt jetzt
Later,
nichts mehr.
Andy.
See you around.
Wir werden sehen, ob es klappt.
Hey, what's this? Evidence of high-level corruption in connection with illegal underland expedition. I bet this report is the key to finding out more about Barlow and Count Anduro's expedition.
Wow. The plot thickens, huh? Looks like you're onto something.
Yeah, I think this file might just help me find out what happened to my father.
But Bwana, the file is classified. That means it has been removed from the town hall archives. There's no way I can get it for you.
Oh.
It says it was written by the old chief of police, Leroy Makibo. That is probably your best lead. If you find him, I bet you will find the file.
Wow, you're real smart, Andy.
I have my moments.
I gotta find this Makigbo guy.
Okay. Finden wir den Makibo-Guy? Kibo. Ja, mir eine Info. Oder mal anrufen. Okay. Ah, sieh an. Sehen, was wir rausbekommen.
Hello? Who's this?
Hello, madam. My name is Bwana. I'm trying to reach Leroy Makigbo. Is this the right number?
Yes.
Sweet! I'm calling about a police report he wrote a long time ago. It's about the Underland.
Police report?
Yeah, lady. Can I talk to him, please?
Talk to him. If you want to talk to him, you should rather call a psychic. My dear Leroy disappeared over 10 years
Whoa.
ago.
So did my father, Count Andoro. I believe there's some sort of connection between your husband and my father. Do you know if anyone wanted to see Leroy disappear?
Leroy used to be the police chief here in Port Arthur, and he had many enemies. He was a diligent and honest man, always working late down at the station to keep the gangsters at bay. But then one night, he didn't return home from work.
Did Leroy ever talk about an expedition to the Underland?
Well, now that you mention it, he did say he was writing a report about some sort of expedition just before he disappeared. I don't know what it was about, but I remember he said he had uncovered some sort of conspiracy.
Spannend.
You think might have left a copy of the report at home?
Oh, I don't know, dear. I never looked through his work things. The police and the power company cleared out his study soon after Leroy disappeared.
The power company?
Yes, there was some gentleman here from the Armando Power Company to help with the investigation. Whatever they found, they must have taken with them to their office on Charnel Road.
Hold on a minute. The power company has an office here in Port Arthur?
Oh, I don't know, dear. The office is probably closed now that most business has moved up to St. Armando. This all happened a long time ago. I doubt I can be of much help to you now.
Oh no, you've been very helpful, Miss McKigbo. Thank you so much.
Not at all, dear. Good night.
So the power company has an office right here in Port Arthur. I bet that's where they hid the missing police report. I've got to get to Charnel Road.
Ja. Aber das geht nur, wenn wir den Reifen haben.
Hey, Andiswa,
Hey, Bwana.
what do you know about Leroy McKigbo?
Leroy used to be the city's chief of police. He was loved by the good guys and hated by the bad guys. Unfortunately, that is not a recipe for success in Port Arthur.
You know where I can find him?
All I know is Barlow took over his job one day. I guess Barlow was better connected. Working for the mayor, I can tell you one thing for sure. Having powerful friends means everything in this city.
Later, Andy.
See you around.
I need something to inflate it with. What's up, Reynolds?
Still stuck and off the beat, I'm afraid. My wheels ain't rolling nowhere with this here bust tire.
Do you know someone named McKigbo?
Ha! That's a funny name if I ever heard one. Sorry, Jack. Never heard it before.
Hey, man, can you take me to Charnel Road?
No go, amigo. My ride's stranded here until I get my hands on a new tire.
I'll see you around.
Stay on top, Jack. In Port Arthur, you gotta be street smart and steal hard. Remember that.
Ja, da hat es nochmal gesagt hier.
How's it going, fellas?
Doing great now with the fire. Thanks, kid.
Have you heard of a man named Leroy McKigbo?
Huh, that was a swell guy, wasn't it, Mo?
Yeah, those was the days when Leroy'd come down here and share a cigar with us small folks. He was top brass, but made us feel like we was equals, he did.
You have any idea where he went?
Nah, word in the street was he bought the barnyard, if you know what I mean. But that's street talk. I don't know.
Okay, versuchen wir nochmal was anderes.
I got to.
Vincent Mo.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just testing the smoke detector.
Come on, turn it off. Just push the button on the side, will you? Thanks.
So, und jetzt war endlich die Möglichkeit. Ich dachte, es gibt noch eine andere mit dem Mais, aber soll nur die sein.
Oh, rubber boat engineering rules. If you could afford buying a car with fancy wheels like these, then you can afford losing one.
So, jetzt kommen wir auch ein Stück weiter. Weiter. So, Reynolds.
Hey Reynolds, check this out.
Right on, brother. I owe you big. Can I take you somewhere? It's on the
Gutes
house.
Rad.
I'm trying to get
Reynolds
to a
ein neues
place
Rad,
called
yes.
Charnel Road.
No problem, Jack. We'll be there in a tick. Hide your mamas. Ride Reynolds is back in the game. That's all for Ride. Ride Reynolds. Next stop, Charnel Road.
Cool gemacht.
So, this is Charnel Road. Man, this place looks deserted.
Ja. So sieht's hier aus. Pick-up, Polizeiauto.
It's a rusty old police car. The pickup truck is holding it in place.
Ja.
There's a control panel here that needs a key.
Okay.
I don't think that's been used for a long time. There's a fat padlock chained to the gate. Guess they don't like visitors. I hate to break it to you, Mr. Padlock, but we're going to have to amputate.
So, da können wir also dann hier raus. Hier reingehen.
This has got to be the entrance to the Armando Power Company office. Oh man, it's locked. It's a high pressure fire Man, that's not gonna. It's really dark in here, man. I can't see a thing. The buttons aren't working. I think it's turned off. Looks like some kind of power box. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. It's a steel mill. Let's see what this button here does. Melting stuff. If only I could get over to the window on the other side somehow.
Ah, Schlüsselkasten.
This little box has keys in it. I'll grab them. Okay, let's see if this fits. Nice. What's an...
So, probieren wir das gleich nochmal.
I always wanted to do that. If only I could get over to the window on the other side somehow. I already took the keys. That's the smelting lathe. That's where the iron goes and gets heated up. I always wind up having to walk over scary high things. Alright, Bwana, you can do it. Just close your eyes and everything will be alright.
Down in the filth. I keep track of all the scum here, including you lot. Now state your business or get out of my town.
That's funny. You act as if I don't own you. You know why I'm here. Where's the book?
It's in the safe.
And the woman and those two buffoons I had you lock up?
They got away.
You let them get away? I'm going to find them, even if I have to tear your horrible town apart, brick by brick. Deploy the troops.
You can't do this!
You insolent little maggot! Did you really think I'd let you take control of Port Archer? You were nothing but a puppet. Now stay out of my way, or you'll end up like Maka Igbo.
Freeze! Bwana? What are you doing here?
You backstabbing woman! What were you doing with that policeman, Barlow?
I wasn't backstabbing you, you nut. I was trying to talk my way back to the book, and I was this close to getting my hands on it when you blundered in there and blew my whole operation. I was going to come help you out of jail as soon as I'd secured the book. I still need you and your airplane, Bwana.
Oh, but I thought...
Well, it doesn't matter now anyways. The book is securely locked up in Club Temba, and we're going to have to try a different approach to get it back. I've been trying to dig up some dirt on this Barlow guy, and I'm pretty confident this is where we'll find it.
You talking about that missing police report, right?
Sounds like you've done your homework, Bwana. I'm impressed. Yes, the missing file is bound to be hidden away here somewhere. Once we find that file, you'll be one step closer to finding out what happened to Count and Dodo. And I'll be one step closer to getting the book back and finding out the truth behind this whole cover-up.
Na, das ist ja eine interessante Wendung. Was hast du überhaupt mit Barlow gemacht? Also was ist in der verschwundenen Akte? Weißt du irgendwas über diesen Begib?
What were you doing with Barlow anyways?
I told you, I was trying to talk him into giving me the book back. The Underland seems to be a touchy subject for him. He's clearly covering something up, big time.
What's in the missing file?
I don't really know. All I know is that since the power company is covering it up, it's bound to contain something that they don't want us to know about. I'm hoping it's going to contain some kind of dirt on Barlow, so we can squeeze him into giving the book back.
You know anything about this Makigbo guy?
Well, he used to be chief of police here in Port Arthur. He wrote the missing report we're looking for. Why he suddenly disappeared or where he went, I have no idea.
Okay, let's find that police report.
All right. You start looking through the shelves, and I'll try the computer.
Okay, dann schauen wir uns mal um.
The Empowerer, issue 49. 10 pro tips that will boost your career in the energy industry. It leads to the staircase. Hey, Lena.
Yes?
Irgendwelche guten Spiele.
Find any good games?
I'm not playing computer games, Bwana. If I manage to locate the hidden data cells inside the memory drive, I can access the secrets recorded on the computer's magnetic storage.
Sounds like fun. I found it!
You did? Show me.
Just kidding.
Bwana, you're an idiot.
I'll just keep looking.
Okay, I'll keep searching on the computer.
Mach das.
I think I better let Lena do the computerizing.
Okay. Etwas Auffälliges.
Only old bookkeeping in this drawer. It's a bunch of documents about the early days of the Armando Power Company. Seems like the Armando Power Company originally was a mining company. It says here they wanted to expand their operation further down into the mist, all the way down to the Underland.
It only makes sense that they wanted to do more mining and earn more money. That's what companies do.
But in the Underland? That place is just fairy tales. Besides, it wasn't allowed, was it?
You've got to remember that back then, diving down through the mist wasn't illegal. Anyone could try their luck. But none of those tries ever yielded anything. None of them ever came back dead or alive. I guess the fairy tales were amazing enough to make people risk their lives again and again. Their failed attempts to reach the Underland are very interesting, but it's not the information we're looking for. We want to know what's going on down there now. We've got to find that missing police report.
Nah, nothing of interest in there. Only old bookkeeping in this drawer. Hey! Here's a newspaper cutout from the day Barlow and Count and Dodo returned from their expedition.
You mean the article from the Daily Post?
Yeah!
I saw that. Apparently, Barlow and Count and Dodo's expedition was the first one to ever make it back alive from the Underland. An extraordinary feat that many claim to be completely bogus since they didn't have a single shred of proof to show for it. Except for a battered old book with sketches and drawings in it that the captain had written along the way. Guess which book that is?
Hey, we know that book. It's the Journal of the Journey Down.
That's right. In the article, Barlow claimed that they had found some kind of strange new power source in the Underland and was eager to set up research and tap into this new amazing power. But Count and Dodo apparently refused to take part of the interview altogether.
That's strange. I wonder why Count and Dodo didn't want to talk about it.
More importantly, what was it Count and Dodo didn't want to talk about? And how did the Armando Power Company get involved in all this? That's when things really start to get interesting.
Und rein zufällig ist das auch der Titel des Spiels.
This one's empty. Only old bookkeeping in this drawer. Ah, here we go. A file about the setting up of the big power company expedition.
Really? Let me see that. Upon Barlow and Count Dodo's return from their expedition, the Armando Power Company quickly seized the opportunity and hired Barlow as a guide for their own operation. The investment was massive. It seems the power company spent its every penny on setting up the biggest, most well-prepared venture to the Underland known to man. The only thing they couldn't buy was Count Dodo.
What? Why not?
He refused. Apparently, Count Dodo was actually jailed for refusing to join the operation, and later disappeared to no one knows where.
Well, we know where he wound up. He wound up in Kingsport Bay and adopted me and Quito. But where did he go when he left us?
This document is older than that. It doesn't say. Maybe the Armando Power Company caught up with him. I don't know.
Caught up with him? You mean...
I don't know, Bwana. We're getting more questions here than answers. We need to find that missing police report.
Nah, nothing of interest in there. Only old bookkeeping in this drawer. Just boring paperwork in there. Nah, nothing of interest in there.
Hey, Bwana,
Yeah?
check this out.
Whoa!
It's a safe. Bwana, do you know how to pick a lock?
Just stand back, lady. I got the situation under control.
Nice try, Bwana. Looks like we're going to have to figure out the code for this combination lock.
I messed that panel up pretty bad, huh?
It's all right. The buttons are still working.
So, ja, wie kriegen wir denn das raus? Mal schauen, dass wir irgendwie Datum vielleicht bekommen. Okay, die 1 war schon mal grün. Okay, jetzt war es wieder gelb. Wollen wir das echt alles ausprobieren oder noch in den Dokumenten finden? Das könnte auch eine 3 sein. Ist hier irgendwo ein Hinweis irgendwie? Oh, okay. Warum verändert sich das dann trotzdem? Da bekommst du das ja nie raus. Kannst ja nie einschränken. Hm.
I think I better let. How many coming?
The colored lights under the number panel are clearly following some sort of pattern. I just can't figure out exactly how they're connected to the code.
Okay.
Ja, ganz genau.
Electrocutors Weekly, issue 258, Wind Power. The complete guide to harnessing renewable energy while also sabotaging your neighbor's view. The bookshelf is just full of boring old magazines.
Erfolgreich im Eimer eines Energiegeschäfts. Lese die 2 Magazine über das Büro von Armando und Co. Nice. Okay, das hat dann auch nichts mit den Codes zu tun. Was ist denn das hier unten? Achso, das ist die Abdeckung. Hm.
The street is empty.
Wie soll man darauf kommen?
Bookshelf is just full of boring old magazines.
Hm. Das macht alles nur sie?
I think I better let Lena do the computerizing.
Hm. Ja. Oh, das war aber Zufall.
This document explains everything. Begib details high-level corruption in Port R2 and writes about the power company threatening to silence anyone who stands in their way. Even Police Chief Begib himself. That explains Begib's mysterious disappearance and the following replacement by Barlow.
You mean Mikigbo was murdered by the power company?
Exactly. Barlow covered his tracks well, but now we found his dirty secret. Were you followed? Step on it! Ah! They're going to knock us right off the bridge!
Sisulu!
Finally, I caught you.
Let us go, you thieves!
Where's the book? Eh?
Ha! You'll never lay your filthy hands on the journal of the journey down. Barlow has got it locked up in the Komplettpaket safe.
A feeble safe is no match for us pirates. Gentlemen, we are breaking in tonight.
All right, you two. You can get out now.
Thanks for the ride, man.
You're lucky Madame Sisulu still has plans for you.
Plans? What plans?
Madame Sisulu knows everything about your research at the Agibo University. After we make our little visit to Club Demba tonight, you're going to help us use the journal.
And what makes you think we'd help you? You pirates are nothing more than looters and grave robbers.
But you do want to see the Underland, don't you? It's your dream, isn't it? Then you're gonna have to play by the Madam's rules. Now keep your mouths closed and stay out of our way.
Come on, Bwana. Let's get out of here before the police show up.
Mighty mud juggler, this place is guarded like a fort.
Looks like the power company has taken over the whole place. I bet they're here for the book. It's right up there in the safe.
Where? Behind the big elephant head?
No, it's inside the head. The vault door leads into the VIP room. I've seen it up close. And tonight, the pirates are gonna break in there and steal the book.
Not if we do it fast.
But that's impossible. How are we ever going to get inside?
Come here, I'll show you. It's the back door to Club Demba. You think we can get in this way?
I'm not sure. It looks robust. Give me a minute to work my magic. I might be able to break it open.
All right, I'll go search for Quito on the airplane.
Good idea.
So, gehen wir von den Ladies und an dieser Stelle werden wir mal eine Speicherung aktivieren und dann beim nächsten Mal weitermachen. Mit dem geheimen Nebeneingang wollte ich ja schon immer mal durch. Und dann wird es beim nächsten Mal so sein. Oha, ja.
That door looks determined not to let anyone in. I hope Lena knows what she's doing.
Ja. Sehr interessant, Verlauf mit den Aufdeckungen. Interessant, interessant. Und so geht es auch beim nächsten Mal weiter. Vielen Dank fürs Reinschalten oder fürs Nachschauen. Checkt mal die Links aus und dann sehen wir uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Kommt gut durch die Nacht. Schönen Start wünsche ich und bis zum nächsten Mal. Bis dahin, macht's gut. Und